What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Meran podcast. Today, my guest is Phil Langevin. Phil is an up-and-coming Canadian slopestyle skier who has made some waves in the past couple of years, including making the finals at X Games at only 17. He is a part of the next generation of slopestyle skier, and it was really good to chat with him. We talked about his youth and how he got where he is today. We talked about a series of injuries that have been bugging him for a few years, including a shoulder injury, a knee injury, and a bone cyst on his foot. We also talked about the upcoming season with COVID and the whole Olympic situations approaching. Big thank you to this episode's sponsors, Decans Restaurants, Planks Clothing, J Skis, Treefort Lifestyles, and Access Board Shop. Let's go. Mr. Phil Langevin, what's up?
What's up?
I guess it's time to tell people how to spell your name. You told me some people have a hard time.
It's Phil Langevin.
And not Langevin.
That's right.
Okay, well, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad to talk to you. You're one of the most up-and-coming Canadian skier, I guess. You've been making waves for the past, 2-3 years?
Yeah, it's been like 3 years.
How long have you been on the Canadian team?
Since I'm 16, so it's been 4 years now. And yeah, it's been a good ride.
What was the process of getting into it?
So I started like competing when I was about 10 years old. And then I was doing NORAMs and Canadian Open Tour. And I was almost winning everything. So yeah, like at the age of 16, Freestyle Canada like saw me like doing great at competition, so they put me on the team, and yeah, I've been on Freestyle Canada since then.
So is it like a point threshold of saying, oh, you won X amount of comp, or it's more like JF Cusson seeing you and saying like, oh, I want you on board?
Well, at first I was on the development team.
Yeah.
So there's 3 teams on the national team, so it's A, B, and C. So I was on the C team, and
there's 3 teams on the Canadian level.
Yeah, there's 3 teams.
So right now you're kind of on the A team?
Yeah, I'm on the A team.
Who's on the B team right now?
B and A team is the same team.
Okay.
Just like the founding, it's different, but it's the same team.
Okay.
But there's 3 categories.
And who's on the C team right now?
I think it's Noah Portermac, and I think there's 2 other girls. But it used to be like 10 people on the development team. But with the Olympic coming up, like they put more people on the B and A team. And then
like there's, I guess, kind of a D team, which is the provincial teams, you could say?
Yeah, I think it's different. Like Quebec team and national team is like separate kind of. And but I'm seeing like all the young people in the Quebec team, they're crushing it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
What's the perspective for you of going to the Olympics in such a stacked team? Because right now there's Evan McEachran, ABM, you, Max Mofat, TL Harley.
Yeah, well,
you're a bunch of riders, and you're not all gonna go there.
No, for sure. Like you need to push your limit, and like we're all super good skier, so it just like I think it's gonna depend like who's doing the best at like what contest they're going to choose for Olympic. So you just need to be on point all the time and train as hard as you can, and hopefully you're going to make it.
For the US, it seems like it's a fixed number of athletes that go. Like it seems like it's always 4. Do you know if that's the case for you, or it's going to depend on the other freestyle, like the other freestyle categories like moguls and aerials?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure, but I think like if they see that there's more people like on slopestyle and big air that can have a podium at the Olympic, they're gonna send more people, and it's the same thing for every like other discipline. But they have like an amount of people they can send to the Olympic, and yeah, they're gonna choose like okay, which discipline can have bigger potential to have a podium, and yeah, they're gonna send like maybe 3, 4, maybe 5, hopefully 5. That would be super sick in slopestyle.
It seems so hard to... It's a hard state to be in, because if you look at moguls, let's say, it seems like it's less competitive. Like I've talked to Mick Kingsbury, and he was saying like there's maybe 4 or 5 people that compete for the top spot, and that's about it. But if you look at slopestyle, it seems that if you look at slopestyle, there could be like 20 different people that could win a comp. Like just if you're on your good day, it could be a top 3 Canadian podium at the Olympics, or it could be a top 3 American.
Yeah, like at this point, we're all like at the same level. It just like, that day at like that competition, like it's the one who's on point the most that's gonna come on the podium. And
what do you think makes the difference right now between guys who are dominating like Andrew Regetley and some people that, I don't know, maybe like end up 8th?
Well, most of the time we do training, like training camp at the same place of other countries. And I'm seeing like Andrew and Fabian Boch, they're doing like from the morning to the afternoon, they're doing like dub 14, dub 16, dub 14, dub 16 all day. So it's like getting easy for them, you know? So they go to a contest and they just do it like super easily. So
it's a stock trick for them.
Yeah. So, but I think this is how you get better, you know? You just need to be consistent and do your tricks all the time. And when you arrive at a contest, it's way more easier.
Yeah.
So
how do you see the difference? How do you see the judging right now from rails versus jumps in slopestyle course?
Well, I think it's like 50-50.
Yeah.
I think you just need to have like good grabs. Like you need to look smooth, you know. If you look like super stiff or something like that, like for sure judges are gonna like know that. But if you look like super smooth, like you need to land a clean run.
It seemed like for a while there was more importance on jumps. It seemed like people could do a stuck rail run, but then if they had great jumps, it would be fine. But we'll get to talk about that later. But you're doing crazy rails and crazy jumps in your slopestyle runs. Do you see a difference between some other skiers that might not do as crazy of rail tricks?
Well, yeah, for sure. There's some people that are better in jumps than in rail. And maybe it's like, how can I say it? They're doing better tricks on jumps than rail. But at the end, like they're going to have bigger point on jumps. But it's going to came up, like at the end, it's going to be the same.
Yeah, it cancels out.
The same result as if someone is doing like super good on the jump and like, or like all right on the jump and super good on the rails section.
Yeah.
So,
but to me, it always seems like judges don't really grasp 100% the difficulty of rail tricks. Like sometimes you'll see someone do a switch 2-on blind 2, but knowing good rail skiers, I know it's a really easy trick for you guys. And then you'll see a more tech trick, I don't know, let's say Belmar did in his Olympic run a switch tails 4-on to switch, which is so technical. But then I don't have a feeling sometimes that the judges see that there's a big difference between the two.
Depending on which rail you're taking.
Yeah.
Like me, there's a contest I did like a switch right 2-on, which is my unnatural, to I did K-Fed after, which is like easy tricks, but it was super short of a rail, you know, like they were like super close to each other, and the other section was like a bigger rail, so people were doing like bigger tricks. So it's like depend on which rail section you're taking.
The size of the rail.
Yeah.
So what's your approach on slopestyle courses now when you see that? You go more for the tech thing or for the big trick on a big disaster?
Well, it's depend on on the course, and I think now the course are much better because it's like way more varieties. Yeah, there's like side hit, there's quarter pipe, and which is super nice, I think, because it's different than like 3 rails, 3 jumps, and well, for me, I try to always go for the bigger trick. Like if you see my run, I always like land super big and stuff like that. But for sure, sometimes I like to get tech.
And now it's time for a first sponsor break. Decans is a family-owned restaurant chain with 12 locations in the Montreal region, and I'm really stoked to have them as a sponsor. If you've never been, you have got to try it out. Their one-of-a-kind hamburgers have been favorites of mine since I was a kid. They've started selling products like their legendary sauce, and they have a lot more coming out soon, so be on the lookout for that. Support companies that support skiing. Support Decans restaurants. Yeah, let's talk about that run. There's a comp run of you from 2 years ago at Font-Romeu in France where you finished second. And that run is completely insane to me. When people talk a lot about the slopestyle progression and how crazy it gets, that to me is an example because most people don't know about you. You're still kind of unknown. And when you see that run, you're like, oh my God, that would have won X Games. I don't know how many years ago, but not that far ago. You do, what is it? Ride dub 12 to switch ride dub 12 to dub 10 to switch up pretzel on a transfer and then switch 4 on 6 out on a small rail.
Never been done in a contest before, I don't think. So
how is it competing in slopestyle these days with that craziness of a level?
I just think you need to like keep up with other skier, you know? And I think you can push a sport like skiing in a different way if you want, like more style, or you can push it on a way that it's more like tech or like doing 18 or like triple or quadruple, and like or you can mix both too, which I like big trick with stees. I think it's like the best. Like I think one good rider, Kobe Stevenson, he's like super tech, but he got so much tees, it's crazy.
Yeah, you're right. He's been dominating last year, and I think it's not gonna stop soon.
Yeah, and he's like doing crazy stuff, but he keep having like a good style, which I really like, and I want to like keep pushing like my skiing like that way. So.
Yeah, for a while there was a progression in skiing where, in slopestyle at least, where there were unnatural spins coming in, and then doubles, and then right side doubles, and then triples. Where's the next progression, you think? Like, do you think people are going to throw quads in a run? Like, where do you see it headed in, like, the next 5 years?
Well, you know, now we have airbags, which is, like, there's a good side and a bad side of it. People are doing crazy stuff on the airbag, and they, like, put it on snow, but they would never done it without the bag, you know? It's the same, like, for me, like, I live in Tremblant, and it's like 15 minutes from Maximize, which like they have a airbag there, and you know, I learned some tricks that I would have maybe never done it on snow. I think like the skiing is gonna go like more on a like people are gonna do quadruple, and for now it seemed like people are more like the direction of the sport is going more that way. But to do a quadruple, like you need such a big jump, or you need to spin fast. Yeah, I'm trying to like keep it steezy and do big tricks, but with style.
Yeah,
and this is the way I want to push a sport.
When you see triples being normal these days and going into the quad direction, does that scare you in terms of progression for yourself, or you're still at that young age where you're like pushing yourself and you don't really think about that?
Well, you know, I think the first triple I did, I was 15. I did my first triple at 15. Switch trip, was it? Yeah, switch trip 12 bow and arrow, which is like insane. When I think back of it,
yeah,
I was 15 and I did a switch trip 12 bow and arrow.
Do you have a shot of that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and it's sick, and I'm like super stoked, and yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I've been doing triple for like a long time now, and
so they don't scare you?
Well, yeah, for sure, but I like it. You know, I like the fear of it.
Yeah,
because it's like it's give you like adrenaline rush.
A good fear.
And when you stump it, dude, the feeling, it's so good. But I never thought about quadruple yet. Like I want to do like triple like every way before thinking about the quadruple. And yeah, I just want to keep it teasy, you know.
And then as you said, unless there's a push for a claim of saying, oh, I'm the first one to do that quad. It's not as if you're going to do it on a slopestyle course anytime soon because, as you said, you need that perfect type of jump. That's really huge, and you're not going to find that.
No, there's no contest that has that big of a jump to do it. Or like X Games, big air. It's big enough, but I don't think you will never find a big jump to do a quad in a contest, especially a slope contest.
Yeah, because you saw it with Rigetti at Audi 9s.
Yeah.
But then that's a ultra big jump.
Yeah, that's huge.
That you will not see anywhere else in the world.
No. I think the biggest jump in a contest, it's at X Games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I've seen quadruple on that jump. And, yeah, it's crazy, but it's doable. But, yeah, either than X Games, there's no contest that you can do it.
So you said that you'd rather try like a right side triple before doing a quad?
Yeah, of course.
Are you seeing it? Are you close to doing it, a right side triple? Because it seems pretty intense.
Yeah, for sure. But now I'm I don't have like a good direction. Like I can spin right. Like my good weight's left side, but now I'm spinning right side almost better than my left side. So I could do a right side triple. I think like if I would have to try it tomorrow, I think I could do it.
That's crazy.
Stumped it, yeah.
And when did you get that? Like, was that always the case of being good on both ways, or was it like with time or practice or airbags, as you said?
Yeah, since I think I started spinning right, I was 14, and I just keep trying it and do it like it was my good side, and it's became super natural. The only direction that I'm my worst direction side, it's a switch right side. I'm good, but I need to practice it way more, and that's my a goal.
When you started spinning right at 14, that's young. Was there a reason for that? Because I remember skiing with Dom Laporte back in the days, and he was known for a while. And if you go watch his videos, you'll see he's the king of riding switch on urban rails, anything. And the reason for him was he saw in rail jams and stuff like that everyone was doing the same tricks. And he was like, well, if I do the same trick but with a switch on, I'll get more points. And then it really paid off for him because he wants so much money on rail jams. But that was his thing. He said, okay, I'm just going to ride switch now. And then at some point, he became better switch than forward. He was riding better switch than forward. So yeah, anyways, my thoughts were, why at 14? Because that's young. You're still trying new tricks. We're trying out right side spin.
I think it's because of competition. Because I started doing comp at a super young age, so you had to have a right side spin and a left side.
Yeah.
And and I think from the age of 13, 14, for 2 years I was always doing the same run, right side 9 to a switch up 10 or switch 10, with a big mute and judged like that. So
you've been really making moves in the competition scenes until 2 years ago. I don't think many people notice, but you were a finalist at X Games Slope 2 years ago, and you were, 17?
Yeah, I was 17.
That's crazy.
And I don't think, because I've been on the scene for, a little while, I don't think some, people know that I was that young when I went to final at X Games. But yeah, I was 17.
Yeah, I knew of you since you were young because I saw videos of you, and I had the same thought. I was like, oh yeah, he must be 21. And then I see 17, and I'm like, holy shit, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I didn't expect to go to final. And they were taking the first 9 people, and I end up 10 in qualies. And my good homie, Evan McEachran, got injured during practice. So I got his spot in final, but I was not ready at all. And I didn't do great, but just to be in final at my first X Games at 17 was crazy.
And now it's time for a second sponsor break. J Skis is a company based out of Burlington, Vermont. Their business model of making limited edition graphic skis that are sold online directly to consumer is super dope. As a fan of original graphics, I love it. They put a lot of effort into making great skis, but also in making them look super good. This season, I'll be skiing on the vacation ski, and I can't wait for some snowstorm to go and try them out in São Paulo. Support companies that support skiing. Support J Skis. So what was your mindset when they told you that you were in the finals? So basically, you did the qualies and you were like, okay, I'm done. I'm not getting in. Well, what was your mindset? Were you like just chilling that morning, sipping coffee?
Well, so after the qualies, my coaches talked to me and they were like, you need to keep it like chill tonight because if someone get injured, you get his spot. So I was like, okay. So I just went home and chill and went to bed like without being like I wasn't stressed at all. And I woke up the next day and I saw Evan text me. He's like, dude, you're gonna get my spot in the final. And I was like, what? Like just so excited. And like, yeah, I was like too excited almost. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's something that happens. Like I remember when TJ won the slopestyle, I think in 2009, he wasn't making finals. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. I think he didn't make finals and he got a spot like you and won the slope. I know also Nick Gapper won a year when he wasn't making finals and he got an alternate spot. So as we talked before, any rider can win the comp on a good day. It's not that because you're not in the finals that you're not into like the podium competition. Like
no, it's like if I would have been in like a good mindset that day, like I could have won the contest. Like I did a trip 16 mute on the last jump in practice, and if I would have had my run that I wanted to do, I could have landed on the podium for sure.
I want to check out your run. Let's check it and then we'll discuss it. So you start off with a switch 2 on, blind 3 swap, blind 4, which is crazy. Switch on, blind 2, to next up a 4 on, blind 2. Not too much pretzel in that. Right 4 on, blind 2. And then you go into the jumps. Left dub 12 octo. Kind of missing the octo, it seems.
Yeah, I tried, but...
Switch right, dub bio, dub safety.
Yeah, kind of like a truck.
And then dub 12 blunt.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, yeah. I was super stoked. Yeah. Especially, like, I was pretty nervous. Like, first 6 games is, like, I think it's the biggest contest. And to land a run, it was not perfect. I think my rail line was super good. And the jump, I like, kind of, like, missed the grab a little bit. Or, like, was not the best. But just to land a run was...
Yeah. And where did you end up?
10.
Okay.
Yeah.
10th?
Or
no, in the finals.
There was 3. So the podium from the year before went straight to final. So I end up 13 in overall.
Damn.
Yeah.
So to have a run like that and end up 13, it's like, oh well.
Yeah. Well, I was just stoked to be there.
For
like
sure.
Just to be at X Games, just to get a spot there. It was like so sick. I was so stoked.
Yeah.
I was traveling. I was actually in France. Well, I ended up second in France, and we were traveling from France to Italy to another World Cup. And halfway, I woke up in the morning and just received X Games invitation in my email, and I was like, "What?" So I changed all my flight, and I went to X Games, and yeah, just to be there was so sick.
Yeah, and yeah, as we said, at 17, that's a pretty good first result at X Games.
Yeah, and like for sure, I would have like wanted to land on the podium, but I just wanted to show what I can do on my ski. And yeah.
So, what was your dream run of like? What would you had to add up?
In final, I would have done the same rail line. And on the jump, I would have done, I would have tried to to do my ride up 12 octo to the switched up 12 like truck bow and arrow to a trip 16. That would have been like the run I would have done. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, I did the trip 16 on the last jump in practice. Like it was crazy, like super icy and like in the shade. The landing was in the shade. But I was like, okay, I need to do it because if I go in final, like I need to send it. But yeah, when I went to final, I kind of miss all my run, but whatever.
Okay, so the run we just watched was from your qualies.
Yeah, qualies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't land a run in final?
No, I missed like the first rail and yeah, just some stupid mistake. Because I was not like, I was not there mentally. I was like a kid, like just so much energy, but I was not focused at all.
Yeah. Which
I should have been, but just to be in final there was
well, you need those times to learn.
Yeah, I was in my how can I say it? Like it was my first X Games, so yeah, I was not expecting anything, but I just wanted to have a good time and try to learn a run. But
and it's not going to be your last. And there's some people like Bobby Brown who come in as rookies and win it, but then for most people there's a learning curve, I guess, of getting used to it, and your time will come.
Yeah,
I'm sure of that.
Thank you. Thanks.
But yeah, you said that you were doing triples in your practice.
Yeah.
There's some people that I think have more of a vibe of saying, okay, well, I won't do my big trick until the comp runs, so like I'm not scaring myself and I want to keep it for that time. And then there's other people, like you said, like Riget, you do it over and over and over to be ready. What's your stance on that? Are you more of a guy of practicing 100 times, like doing it in practice, or just keeping it for the run?
Well, it's depend on what I'm gonna do. Like for me now, like doing a ride up 12 and a switched up bio 12 or 14, it's getting easier. So sometimes to keep my energy like good, I'm just sending it in like qualies. And because like sometimes you have qualies in the morning and final at the end of the day, so you need to like try to keep your energy at a good level for like all day.
That's in World Cups? Because in
it
games,
depends, because like if the weather is not good for final, they're gonna try like to put both like qualies and final in the same day.
Because in X Games, most of the time it's on different days.
Yeah.
And that's something I noticed in Pyeongchang, where they did it on the same day.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And I think I really noticed it, like skiers were tired in finals. I think I watched it live and I remember people were throwing down in qualies, and then a lot of people were falling in finals because, well, that's my guess, but it seemed like they were tired.
Yeah, for sure. Like just doing a qualification, I think for me qualification is more stressful than final. So like you burn a lot of energy, because you're
mental
stressed.
energy of stress.
Yeah. And when you do qualies in the morning and final in the afternoon, you need to like try to keep that stress like at not a too high level. You need to like have some technique to like reduce your stress and like just to be not too stressed, not like stress enough.
Because it seems to me as if you would have it down after qualies. Like you get the adrenaline up, you get your runs, you do it, and then after that, it all comes down. But then if you have your finals right after, it's kind of a roller coaster of like stress of being stressed for qualies, then I don't know, having lunch and chilling, and then going back to it, it seems a hard thing to manage. Yeah,
that's why like I never go inside to eat. If we have that, because like if you go sit and eat, I'm gonna be too veg, after. So I try to keep myself like busy. So I just like bring snacks, eat in the chairlift, and just like keep myself to be sharp for final.
Yeah,
and
that's a good strategy.
Yeah, like it's little strategy like that I do, but yeah, it's different for everyone, I guess.
That's something I would also do filming urbans in the street. Is that if we do a spot, we'd be on a high of shoveling and working, and then we would be like, okay, let's go and shovel another spot, because if we go back inside, we'll be sleeping.
Yeah.
Like we need to stay on that high, and do as much as we can, because if we go back inside, we know we'll watch a movie and go to sleep. Like, we won't go back out. So yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, staying on the mountain and not going back inside is definitely good.
Yeah, like me at the top of the course, I try like to always keep myself warm. So I'll always like move a bit and then chill a bit and then move a bit. Like if I stay like just sit, I'm gonna get cold. I'm not gonna be ready like to do my run.
And now it's time for another sponsor break. Treefort Lifestyles is a company based out of Oregon. They've been involved in the ski industry since their inception in 2011 when they made their first pair of suspenders for skiing. They produce some of the nicest accessories you can find out there for your adventure activities, whether you're going skiing, hiking, or traveling. Plus, I've heard their famous suspenders are making a comeback this winter. Go check them out at treefortlifestyles.com and use code MERAN at checkout to get 15% off your order. Support companies that support skiing. Support Treefort Lifestyles. That's something that always seemed odd to me, or like something that seemed hard, was that if, let's say, if you're in the X Games, you'll do your practice, but then for the next 2 hours, you're only doing 2 runs. So like you're waiting in the starting tent to go, you do your run, and then it might be another hour until you do your run.
Yeah.
How's that feeling of like being ready for your comp, but then having to wait, and then you're not going back in the course and doing another practice? Like, you need to do that run right now.
Like what I said, I try to keep myself busy. Like if I stay there and like do nothing, I'm just gonna overthink and get more stressed, and which is like super not good for me. Mm-hmm. So I try to keep myself busy, like think about my run, and just keep myself warm, because like sometimes it's like super cold and you need to keep your muscle active.
Yeah, I guess a good example for that would be when we would film street. A lot of times we would go in groups, and at some point what we ended up doing was saying, okay, we won't go all at the same time. If Phil has a shot he wants to take, he'll go only him. Because when he gets into the zone, you have to get into a zone kind of to get your trick of like trying again and trying again and trying again. And you don't want to have to wait for your other friends to go when you're in that zone. And to me, it seems like a weird thing of like, let's say in practice, you get into your zone, ready to do your run, and then you have to wait an hour to get back. Like, how do you stay in that zone of like being ready to do your crazy rail tricks and jump tricks?
I do a lot of visualization, which helped me a lot. Example, like if I did the run yesterday, the run I wanted to do for like qualies, and I'm waiting for my qualies run, I'm going to visualize myself yesterday, like how I did it yesterday. So that's like how I get ready to do my run.
And how does your visualization go? Are you like just closing your eyes and thinking about it? Or are you like mimicking the movement of like throwing your arms on the side? And
yeah, a little bit. It's depend. Like sometimes I just close my eyes and visualize myself, and sometimes I do like the trick, I swing my arms, and yeah.
So yeah, this year you're not going at X Games because it's a weird format with COVID. They invited less riders.
Yeah.
What's your it seems kind of like it would be frustrating for you, because 2 years ago you make finals at X Games, then last year you miss out on it with an injury, and then this year you can't go because of COVID.
Yeah.
Is it frustrating for you?
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, I was so bummed last year. Like, I had an invite at X and at Do Tour, and Do Tour I never went there, so I was like so excited about it. Well, I was in Austria, and I landed pretty big on the jump, and I just my heel started to hurt like super bad.
Last year?
Yeah, last year, early last year in like November, and I went home and just chilled for like a couple of weeks, and then a week before X Games, I tried to like go train like to be ready for X, and my heel was like hurting like super bad still. So my coaches told me to go get like a scan, and I think it's my first time I did a scan, and the person who did a scan like went to talk to me, like to say like, yo dude, we can't see your bone in your foot. And I was like, what? That's so weird. Like like that got me pretty stressful because I didn't know what
Like
I
there
had.
was something in the way.
Yeah, I was like I didn't know what to expect, but I was like questioning myself, like how they can't see my bone, It's like pretty crazy. So then like a couple days later, the doctor called me and he's like, dude, you have a bone cyst inside your foot, which is like, and it's pretty big. I was supposed to get surgery, but then COVID happened. Well, it took a long time to find a doctor because it's a pretty rare surgery. So I would have maybe gone like to the States, or like I think there was like a doctor in Calgary. But yeah, it's pretty rare surgery. But then the COVID happened and it got like delayed.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just like chilling for about like 6 months. And then there's another doctor that called me and he was like, dude, Phil, if your heel doesn't hurt, like we don't do surgery on it. Because like a cyst normally doesn't hurt. So he was maybe thinking I had like a bone bruise or something. So I did some tests. I went to the gym with my trainer and just like did some box jump to the ground, and my heel was good. So like every day I was like getting, like I was doing like bigger jump like out of the box, and like everything was all right. So I was like getting super stoked. And yeah, finally I didn't need surgery. I went back skiing and my heel was like all good. So
you didn't get surgery finally?
No. So I still have my bone cyst in my foot, which is pretty scary because it can explode.
Yeah.
At every moment. Like if I like knuckle or jump or like land deep, it could explode. If you
stump your triple too far in the Gucci plateau.
Yeah, but I tried to not think about it. But from what the doctor told me, he's like, you're better like to ski with it than to get surgery and like maybe not be able to ski anymore, because like your heel would be a plate of like metal, or I don't know what they would put in.
Like it could really mess up your foot.
Yeah, well they would have changed my heel would have become a I don't know what's the type of thing, but like,
do you replace your heel with a metal heel kind of?
Yeah, which is crazy, like,
yeah,
because like, yeah, so I try not to think about it, like it doesn't hurt right now, so yeah, I just need to be careful on my speed when I do jumps. But yeah,
so it doesn't hurt right now?
No, which is good, but I'm like being more careful about my speed, like how fast I'm going on the jump. And I usually guinea pig stuff, but now like I'm trying to not do it anymore. So
so that really cut off your 2020 season.
Yeah, and then and I started skiing again this autumn, and yeah, everything was all right. So I was super stoked, and I started like skiing smooth, just chilling, get back on skis. Yeah, and then I was in Europe, and I came back home, and I did my 2-week quarantine, which I don't want to do that again. It was crazy. It was way too long. I went skiing for 3 days, and I did a 2-on. My ski came off on a rail, and I landed straight on my shoulder, and I tore my ligament in my shoulder. But it's been a month and a half, so...
And now it's time for another sponsor break. Planks is a British outerwear brand founded in the French Alps. Yeah, you can ski in the UK, but you probably wouldn't. But these guys are still passionate about skiing, and as someone from Quebec, I definitely relate to that. They don't just make high-quality, good-looking gear that's affordable. They care about the free ski culture too, running grassroots events and sporting skiers that are some of my favorites like Woodsy, Lupe Haggerty, and the Real Skiffy crew. Make sure to check them out at planksclothing.com. Support companies that support skiing. Support Planks Clothing. That's so shitty, those types of injuries, when you think about all the crazy things you do and then a 2-on and you blow your shoulder.
Yeah. And it's usually on the smaller trick. It's usually when you get injured, it's usually like on smaller tricks you don't expect.
Yeah.
Because you're less focused than a bigger trick.
Well,
when
it
you do
seems like it's the two the two extremes. Like either it's a small trick where you're not focused, as you're saying, or it's like at X Games in practice. Because there's a lot of people I remember of like Vincent Gagne or Sammy Carlson, or there's more people, but like in like big air practice, they're getting ready for the big thing and they push it a bit too far, or even in the X Games finals. Like I remember, what's his name? Luca Schuler. A couple of years ago, I don't know if you remember, like he was trying a crazy trick in big air and just like exploded himself, like knocked him out.
Yeah, that was scary to watch. He was like pass out. And, like, like it's weird because when I was younger, I was like from when I started like freestyle skiing until 2 years ago, I was not really getting injured, and now I'm getting injured like most of the time, which is not good. But now I'm thinking about it and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm doing something wrong, you know? Mm-hmm. Like I got injured and maybe I came back seeing like thinking I could do all the tricks like I was doing before, like in a week, you know, which is not good. You know, you need to start slow.
But at the same time, it looks like you're doing everything right. Like you're going to the gym, you're staying fit, you're not.
Yeah, I'm going to the gym like all summer, and like I try to keep myself in the best shape possible. But I think, I'm trying to figure it out a way, like to come back skiing like I used to be, which was the case before I tore my ligament in my shoulder. Like I was like skiing, skiing pretty good, and then boom, that injury happened.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to manage because with Team Canada and everything, you're really put in a situation where it seems like you have to push yourself. Like they're paying for you to go in Europe, to go to a training camp. So you're like, okay, I can't like take it mellow. I got to like get back on it, right?
Yeah, and especially like now we were in, we had a camp in Europe for 3 weeks at Saasve, and I was with freestyle. I was with the Team Canada, and you know the coaches are there, and like you don't want to be chilling. You know, when you come back from an injury, like you need to know your not limits. Your limit, but you need to keep it chill at the beginning just to come back like stronger. You know, but which is hard for me. Because like usually I go to a training camp and like the first day I'm like there and I'm like sent in it, you know. Yeah. But now with injury, sometimes I'm like I don't know if I should like send it or keep it like mellow at the beginning. But now since I have like bunch of injuries, I know like what to do when I come back skiing.
So you had your foot injury, your shoulder. What else did you have?
Well, before my foot, at the WSI in US, I did my first jump. I did trip 14 mute and landed on my side. And I didn't know, but I tore my meniscus. And then I landed all my other jumps. I did trip 14, landed like super big, stopped it. And then did a switch up 14 bow and a switch up 12 mute. And I can't end up second, which was sick because like there was like a big crowd. It was nice. Yeah, the next morning I woke up and my knee was like super swollen.
So you didn't notice anything?
No, it's the next day. I woke up and my knee was swollen, and I keep skiing on it, which is pretty bad, I think.
Yeah.
But I filmed a part for a Jamie Panka movie, with my knee like super swollen, like it was hurting so bad, but damn. I kept skiing on it, and yeah, I went home, did a scan, and figured out that my meniscus was tore.
Shit.
Yeah.
Did you get surgery?
Yeah, I got surgery, but like small surgery, took like 15 minutes, and but now it's all good.
Yeah, meniscus is kind of like the less.
Yeah, it's what you want if you have something. Like,
between MCL, ACL, meniscus, you'd rather take the meniscus.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's when everything started, like, if I can say that, like going down for me, like at WSI.
What was that, like 2018?
Yeah, 2018.
So it's been like 3 years in a row of injuries.
Damn, kind of. When I think about it, yeah. 3 years, which is crazy. Oh man.
But I think you're getting good wisdom at a young age where this will teach you some stuff about like taking care of yourself and not, as you said, taking the time when you get back to like do it slowly and steadily.
Yeah. After my meniscus surgery, we had a camp like a month and a half after. We had a camp in Saasve. And in my head, I was going to go there and do like triple and stuff like that. But I didn't ski for a while. I haven't skied for a while. And I went there. I was not skiing the way I wanted to ski. But then I got like more comfortable in my skis. And I did a switch triple and landed like super good. And I went like super deep. And then the second try was like, yeah, I'm going to do a switch trip with a bow and arrow. Which I was not ready for that. Like I was supposed to do a cork 7. That camp, I was supposed to do cork 7 or cork 9, like just chill. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do a switch trip with bow and arrow. And I just started, I got lost, I opened up, and I landed straight on my back. I have a video, it's insane. And I tried to stood up, I could not. My neck and my back was like hurting so bad. And then I start losing feeling in my fingers, and I start like panicking. I thought I was getting like paralyzed. And like we called the helicopter, like the patrol, and they came and they like inject something inside my hand. I don't know what was it, but I was feeling amazing after that. Like, yeah, because like up there we are high in altitude, so the thing that happened, I was breathing too heavily, so my oxygen like was not good enough or something, and that's why like my fingers were numb. But I like didn't add anything,
but yeah, enough to be scary for.
Oh man, that was so scary.
Yeah,
like I went so big and just ended straight on my back. But the good side of it, that's why you need to go to the gym, because like if you take big impact like that, like if I didn't went to the gym, I don't think like I don't know how I didn't have like a rib broken or something like that. And my coach came to me and he was like, dude, if you didn't went to the gym, like it would not been the same thing right now.
Yeah, and probably being young and everything, like your body is maybe it wouldn't have taken the impact if you were 32 instead of 18.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's crazy. And after that, that didn't scare you of triples and stuff like that?
No, I went to New Zealand and I was like, yeah, I need to do a triple to to not be scared anymore.
Yeah, get back on the horse.
Yeah, and I didn't do a switch triple, but I did trip 16.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, nice. I broke the ice, so yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's hard mentally for sure. Like when you get back from injuries, like especially me now, it's been like you said, I thought it was 2 years, but it's almost 3 years. Like it's hard mentally.
Yeah.
So I work with someone that helped me on my mental and just be ready.
Yeah, that's a big part of the game.
Yeah. And especially at our level, it's like everyone is like at the same level like of skiing, but it's between your 2 ears that everything is happening. So
yeah, your story reminds me a lot of Colby Stevenson, because he's a really, really good skier like yourself that was kind of on a big leap of making a name for himself. And for a couple of years, he had injuries, and then he had a car accident, and like there was really a couple of years of lag, I'd say, where he should have been in big events, but like shit happened to him and he couldn't. And then he finally got there last year, but it seems like it's going to be like, I'm not worried for you, because
thank you.
Seeing what you've done like in the past couple of years, it just seems like a bump in the road, but like a shitty one. But yeah, you remind me of him, of like, you're having a shitty time, but when you'll get there, I think you'll just be more than you'll be hungrier.
Oh yeah. like now we're talking about it, I just want to go there and send it, you know?
Yeah. What's your plans for the winter?
So actually I'm leaving tomorrow for, leaving for Whistler, just to get like back in the park and just shred some POW. And then on the 18th of February, we have a camp in Calgary, with Freestyle Canada. And hopefully in March we're gonna have some contest, like fingers crossed, because like there's a bunch of contests that has been canceled because of COVID. So yeah, and I really miss competition, you know, like the adrenaline rush again. Yeah. It's crazy, and it's been so long, you know. So
yeah, do you have comps on your schedule this winter?
We were supposed to have the world champ in Calgary, but it got canceled. And we were supposed to have a World Cup in Mammoth, got canceled, and a World Cup in France, which got replaced to another date. I think it's in March, so hopefully I'm gonna be able to do it. And I think maybe Mammoth got pushed to March. Not too sure though.
And now it's time for another sponsor break. Access Board Shop is a ski and snowboard shop based out of Saint-Sauveur, Quebec, Canada. They've been in business since 2002 and have supported skiing since day one. From sponsoring numerous athletes to putting on competitions to helping out movie productions, they've done it all. Axis is the core board shop, and they've got everything that you might need this season. Check them out at axisboutique.com or go check out their shop in Saint-Sauveur. Support companies that support skiing. Support Axis Board Shop. So what's the situation for the Olympics? Because if it's not postponed, it's supposed to be next win. It's supposed to be in a year from now.
Yeah.
So what's the whole quali process? Because, yeah, it's all about having points to get to the events and then qualifying. But what's the situation like? Do you have any insight or knowledge of the situation?
I think usually Freestyle Canada choose a certain amount of contests. Let's say, okay, Mammoth is a contest that's going to count for Olympic.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I say, okay, these 5 contests will be what determines it.
So you need to do good at those contests. But then, like, it got canceled. Some of them got canceled. But the Olympic, I think it's next year, but mid-season. So the early competition in the season counts too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this seems, from my side, it seems like a stressful thing for the athletes. Because we've seen in previous years the US do that, where the athletes are not sure if they'll go until the last week. And it seems like such a harsh process of leading up to the Olympics where they're kind of burnt out when they get there.
Yeah, like for sure you need to have a certain amount of point to go. And like if you do good at the contest right before Olympics, for sure you have like bigger chance to go.
How old are you right now? 19?
19.
As someone who's in the newer generation, like you grew up and basically the Olympics were there, kind of, almost. If you had the choice of saying like, oh, you'll get a gold medal at the Olympics or at the X Games, what's your thinking on those?
Well, for sure it's a hard thing to choose, but when I was younger, it was only X Games. So I was watching X Games and like I was like, okay, I want to go there. I want to like win a medal there, you know? And then the Olympic happened. But for me, I would rather win a X Games medal than at the Olympics.
And it seems as the Olympics has a big appeal in the like general audience and for corporate sponsors, but in terms of like competitor, I see it as the best value of saying you were the best is the X Games, because the best riders are at the X Games. You'll have more Canadians, more Americans, whereas in the Olympics, it's kind of skewed down a bit because, as we said before, there might be 2 or 3 Canadians that are really good that are not there.
Everyone at the Olympics, and at X, it's only the best in the world that are there. So for sure, when you win, it's like, damn, it's crazy because you won against like so like many good skier.
Yeah.
But it's like last winter. If I went to X Games, we would have been, I think, 7 Canadians there, which is a lot.
Yeah. So what were those?
I think Mark, Max, Evan, Teal, and Megan. I think Megan was there. It's a lot of Canadians at X. I don't think we ever had that many spots at X Games, which is sick.
There was a crazy time around 2011, 12, where there was still the older guys and the newer guys, and there were a lot, like in the same finals you could have Casabon, JFL, ABM, Belmar. So that was a crazy time of like having them all together. But yeah, other than that, right now it's a great Canadian team.
Oh yeah, like everyone on the team are super good. And I think every contest, like there's at least 1 or 2% that do well, you know, so we can say we're a strong team for sure.
In the Olympics, the media are always interested in like one sport where they say, oh yeah, we have big medal chance, but I'll be curious to see how they talk about slopestyle, because it's one of the biggest teams. Like you think about moguls, there's Mick Kingsbury, but that's it in terms of medals. But you guys could have like gold, silver, and bronze if you're all on a good day. But yeah, you're all...
That could be like a possible for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, like you said, you
never
need to
know.
be on a good day. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
The stars need to align.
Yeah.
There's been a big specialization in skiing these days, where back in the days you would have comp skiers that would film and that would do a bunch of stuff. Like a skier would be in X Games and then also put out a segment skiing urban and backcountry. Is that a part of skiing that you want to push in your future, of like filming a segment, maybe going in the streets, or like going and filming with your buddy Godbout in the backcountry? Like
that would be so sick. Well, when I was younger, like when I was like 12, 13, me and my buddies in Tremblant were like filming all the time, and like we're like, I don't know, like 10 friends just came together filming and making like a big movie at the end of the winter, and we had so much fun. And that would be something I would want to do like in the near future for sure, like because I think filming, it's super nice.
What type of filming would you be into? Like more backcountry stuff, more urban stuff?
I've never really done urban. Would be super cool to do. But yeah, it would be like more like park segment, and like backcountry, but not like I don't know,
not big mountain.
Well, big mountain, but you know, you go build a jump.
Yeah, some booters.
Yeah, and like spring skiing.
Yeah.
You go build a jump and just send it on that jump, and something like that. But for sure, urban would be something I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But not now. I'm like focusing on contests and
because when I see the crazy rail tricks that you're doing, I'm like, okay, I'd want to see those boys in the street.
yeah. But that would be a good idea to try at one point for sure.
Yeah. I have a couple questions that people on Instagram have for you. I'm going to read out a few to you. So Matt Duff asks, what tricks have you worked hard on, and which one were you the most proud of landing?
Which one could it be? Because there's so many. There's 2 tricks. There's the trip 16 mute. It's a trick that has been on my mind like for a while, and now I do it, and I can do it like pretty constantly. This one, when I landed, I was so stoked. Like, you know, it's pretty scary because like you got your head 3 times under your feet. When I stunned that trick, I was so stoked. And the other one, it's a switch dub 7, which like I never thought I would done that trick. But then I was at Maximize. I did a switch cork 3, and I was like, okay, maybe I could do like a switch dub 7. And I just did switch, but it was more like a switch dub Lincoln.
Yeah, like switch flat.
Yeah. Which is sick, I think, because there's not that many people that does it. So, yeah, I was pretty stoked on that.
Sam Schwinal, MTB, asks, how do you motivate yourself to full send something? I keep choking easy stuff.
Well, you know, you just need to get in the zone and don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Because, like, when you think it too much about the trick, like, sometimes you choke. And me, what I do, I just, like, get up there and try to send it, like, as fast as possible. Because, if I think too much about it, I'm going to choke. And, I just put some music and I crank myself, you know, like, okay, I can't do it. Like, let's go.
Yeah, you're right. That's something that was a big problem for me younger, was overthinking it.
Yeah.
You stay on top and you think about it and you think about it. And then it kind of paralyzes you and you
Yeah.
just need at some point to
Yeah,
Go
you
for
just
it.
don't think you don't think too much about it, and all right, let's send it and go.
either it's going to go well or you're going to see how you can improve.
Yeah, but I think you don't think about crashing. You need to think about landing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do.
The positive outcome.
Yeah, I always think I'm gonna land a trick.
Well, thanks for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
Hope we can see you at the Olympics next year.
Thank you.
Cheers. So this is it for episode 9 with Phil Langevin. I wish him the best of luck for this season, and I hope we'll see him at the Olympics next year. Big shout out to this episode's sponsor, Decan's Restaurant, Access Board Shop, Treefort Lifestyles, and J Skis. Peace.